Good afternoon. How is everyone doing? I'm doing good. I just been doing some cleaning and I thought I'd take a break and do a take 5, 6, 7, I don't know, of this video. This video is to address something that a viewer was interested in, and her name is Cindy N is the initial she has there. And she had asked about the health changes I've done because I had made a comment that I'm excited to make garments in smaller sizes. So anyway, that's what I'm going to talk about today. So if you're not interested, that's fine. If you are, that's fine too. The first thing I want to say is I don't follow any diets. I've made changes in my eating because of the diagnosis that I was giving a few years ago. So I'll start with, I've always had thyroid problems, but I never addressed them, especially when I was younger, because, you know, you're young and it's not a big deal, especially when you're not really understanding anything because nothing is really explained to you. You got good doctors and then you got not so good doctors. But anyway, so another thing was sleep apnea. I've been always asked about that because of things I guess I've mentioned throughout the years. And I am asthmatic also. I have asthma. And so anyway, what made me change my eating habits? I had my gallbladder removed about 20 years ago, something like that. And when that happened, I started having other issues. Over the years, it just developed, and because I was never told that I needed to have a supplement, you know, because your organs have certain functions, and if you don't have those organs, then those certain functions aren't functioning. And another one was, no, that was it. That was the beginning, was that. So anyway, some time ago, a few years ago, I want to say about 8, I took a trip to visit my mom, and I just wasn't feeling well, and my husband was paying attention to what I was saying, and he wished he would have paid attention, more attention earlier. Sorry, I'm a sweaty mess. Anyway, in doing his search, he's like, you know, I think it might be your sugar. I've never had issues with my sugar before. Well, what happens is when you have your gallbladder taken out, there's certain foods that can be broken down. And one of them is carbs, carby food. And so after that, we went to the doctors and my sugar was high. I had sprained my ankle too, and so he was concerned about that. That's what he originally wanted to take me for, make sure everything's okay. And I was like, oh, no, I just want to be with my mom. But anyway, of course, she's like, come on, Mija, you have to go. So I went, and so he also mentioned to her, because I was being stubborn, my issues and what he thought. And so they took tests and everything, and sure enough, my sugar was high. 500 plus, I think. My A1C was 12.8, and I was upset about it. And that's when, once I got to see my doctor, he's like, okay, you're not breaking down your carbs, and what's happening is it's turning into sugar immediately. So that's what caused my pre-diabetes. And so I was like, okay, can we do this can we get this down without having to take any medications? I didn't want to take medicines. Just tell me what I need to do and I'll do it. And when he did, I was like, oh, no carbs. I can deal with not having to drink the juices and everything, even though I enjoyed drinking cranberry juice. And I always got no sugar added, but he's like, it doesn't matter. No. So I was like, okay, well, I like unsweetened tea. And so unsweetened tea it is. Anyway, After my 30 days, I went back and my sugar went down, oh my gosh, drastically. I was between the 200s, or between the 150, 200s. And then my A1C went down to 7.2. And so he was happy about that. So for my, then we went deeper into certain issues and everything. So he ordered blood work to get done and everything. And he's like, I want to do a sleep apnea test as well. And I was like, okay. So on my next follow-up, he's like, okay, numbers aren't really moving, so I want to try metformin and Januvia. And I was like, oh, okay. And so he put me on those and everything, and he also told me, look, your oxygen levels are very low, dangerously low. As a matter of fact, he's like, I don't even know how you're alive. I know how. Jesus. And anyway, so I went, took the sleep apnea test, and I have obstructive acute sleep apnea. So now I have a CPAP. And it's been a life changer. So then after a while, I just still didn't feel good. I just felt like a zombie every day. Nothing helped, no matter how much I slept. It didn't matter. I just didn't feel good. So then my husband was doing some research. Not research. I was doing research. He was listening to talk radio, and he enjoys that. And he was listening to Dr. Bob Martin one day, and he happened to be talking about the side effects of not having your gallbladder. And so he was like, he paid attention to that so that see what he can get for me. And so when he came home, he's like, hey, we need to check this out because, the doctor was talking about this and this could be an issue and everything and stuff like that. So then I hit the webs and started doing my own research and that kind of stuff to see what I can find out. And I ran into a blog of a lady who shared her story of what she was going through, and we had identical. And I know that doesn't always mean the same for everybody. Where our bodies are different, everything's different. But I took that information and applied it to how it would help me. And one of the things that she had mentioned was enzymes to help break down foods that your body can't. And my husband, the information he gave me was for a probiotic by Dr. O'Hara. And I started taking those 2 supplements, and they were a life changer. I can't even express to you how good these 2 supplements are. I will not do without them. And another thing that I forgot to mention was my vitamin D was low. That's another thing they checked. And so I take vitamin D. Another thing was that I discovered is that metformin eats up your vitamin B. So I started taking vitamin B complex. And then a few years later, I started to develop fatty liver. And I took care of that. I don't have any issues anymore. I drink lemon ginger water. I drink a hot tea of that in the morning, and then I'll have a glass, cold, lukewarm, whatever, in the middle of the day and then before bed. And that has helped tremendously. But I also take liquid chlorophyll that helps with that. And I don't take it every day. I take it maybe once a month. And I also take liquid iodine because that's another deficiency you can develop. And so I take these supplements. And I will leave that information down below. Let's see. A few years ago, when all this started with the virus, obviously you couldn't go to the doctors because they wouldn't see anybody. And I'll leave it at that. He wanted to do a video thing, and I said, no, I won't be doing that. I needed to refill my prescription, and he wouldn't see me. So I decided that I would no longer use his services. And I decided that I would need to get my tushy in gear and not depend on medication. And I said, Lord, you're the only one who's going to be able to help me now, because you are the great physician and you are who I am going to depend on. So what I did is just changed my eating habits. That's it. Portion control and your liquids. I don't fast. I don't do any diets. I don't believe in starving myself for the sake of starving myself. If I'm hungry, I will eat. And most of the time, because of the way I eat, I can go a long period of time without eating. I could eat 1 to 2 times a day. Depending on how active I am, I might eat 3 times a day. But small portions, that's it. Small portions. Watching what I eat. And I don't deprive myself. This morning I had 2 chocolate chip cookies with my coffee. And I'm okay with that. That's what I wanted. That's what I had. But most days is just, I watch what I eat. And if I'm going to go to a gathering, because you're not going to call ahead and say, hey, I need this type of food for myself. Depending on what they have, I can work around it. And if I can't, no big deal. Tomorrow is a new day. So, Cindy, as far as what my journey's been like, that's exactly what it is. Watching what I eat, portion control, and January we started a walking group. Not we. Kelli from Kelli's Crochet Adventure started a walking group. And we get online, we talk and everything on her live and keep in touch. But there's an app that everybody uses that is linked to, and we keep each other accountable. And so the goal is to walk 20 minutes a day. And if that's the least I can do in one day, that's what I'll do. But I also like when I'm just sitting down after a while, I'll get up and walk another 5 minutes. If I'm been sitting for like an hour crocheting and I'm going to get up to get water or whatever, before I sit down, I'll walk 5 minutes, you know. And if I've been sitting doing lessons with my son for an hour, I'll get up again, another 5 minutes. And by the end of the day, I'll have anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour of total walking time, moving and stuff like that. And that's been really good to get myself going. So that's really it, you know, just making those small little changes and not beating yourself up if one day you just couldn't follow through, if you were tired, whatever it may be. I think that's what discourages a lot of people, is if once they've not failed, I don't want to say that. Once they've had an oopsie, they feel defeated. And you know what? Don't do that. Tomorrow's a new day. You know? So that's really it. That's really it. I don't do anything magical. And if there's something that I might have left out, something you were hoping to hear, I don't know. But this is what I do. I watch what I eat. I control the amount that I eat. And I move. And I drink plenty of water. My tumbler is 64 ounces. I drink 2 of those a day. Sometimes I get 1.5, but most of the time, 2 of those, 128 ounces of water. So, you know what I mean? That's really what I do. I don't believe in diets. It's just really wanting to make that change. And I wanted to, because I have a family that I love and I want to be healthy, you know. And so this is what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything else, you know. I watch 2 channels, or actually 3, because even DIY, Jannett from DIY Creations, she is vegetarian and she shows a lot, because I love everything. I don't discriminate on food, except for some things. But anyway, and I get ideas of, you know, recipes and stuff to eat. Another one I watch is Marny from Keto Marny and Ellen. And I don't know his whole name channel, but everything will be linked down below. And I like to get ideas of what they do. Alan does keto, and he gets some good recipes on there. I started following him on Instagram and looking at the pictures. I'm like, wow, this stuff is good. But anyway, that's it. That's all I have. It's what I do. So like I said, if there's something more you have questions about, let me know. And I'll try to answer them the best I can. But no diets. I don't do them. Because I don't like them. I like to eat. I just changed what I eat, how I eat. So with that, I will let you go. I hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are at. And I will see you soon. Or you'll see me, because I can't see you. Bye.